time to get busy at this motherfucker.
Like we always do about this time.
Oh.
What's up, everybody? On today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast, man, we finally back. Had Thanksgiving, had the food, had all kinds of stuff that happened over the past few weeks. And yeah, man, we're ready to talk about it. Ready to talk about it as we head into the holiday season. So get ready for a recap of the last 3 weeks and more on today's episode of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast. Pew, pew, pew. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Finally, episode 111 of the Hashtag Blackout Podcast. I'm Jared.
What up, people? I'm Jay.
And we are back and at it again, finally, after some weeks of being away. Man, Jay, how's your past few weeks been, man? It's been a minute.
Oh, man, they've been trying, dude. They've been trying. I've been dealing with health issues and
Oh, yeah?
and all sorts of stuff, man. Only, my doctor pretty much thinks it's all related to stress, because I got so much stuff going on. But, I'm trying to get better. Can't complain. I'm still alive. So, yeah, everybody out there, take care of yourself. Take care of your bodies. Try to eliminate as much stress as you can. Easier said than done, but, yeah, that's my piece of advice leading into 2019. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, other than that, man, it was alright. Man. How about you? How's the last 3 weeks been for you?
Definitely take care of yourself, man. The last 3 weeks have been crazy because, we had a little health issue, as a family, I guess. Just about the week before Thanksgiving. Thankfully, all were good for the week of Thanksgiving, and then, back to work as usual, but, jump back into a load of fires that I'm trying to figure out how to put out all over the place. But hey, that's a normal work week for me.
Right.
But no, man, Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving was great. Was fortunate enough to go to Hawaii for
cool.
For the holiday week. So, it's funny because before we went on our, in the last episode 110, rappers that didn't make it, we talked about, Thanksgiving food, and we talked about apple pie, or, we talked about pecan pie. Pumpkin pie versus sweet potato pie, right? And all the other stuff, that we love and miss about, eating that Thanksgiving meal. And so for me, Thanksgiving was spent at a restaurant for the first time ever. I used to say, man, who would go to a restaurant on Thanksgiving, especially back when I worked at one. And now I know who would, somebody who's traveling. But in a tourist location, it makes sense, right? In like Fort Worth, it doesn't really make sense. But hey, it is what it is. But no, man, Thanksgiving for me, I had like some pork and fish tacos. That was my Thanksgiving feast. I didn't have a turkey and pie and all that other stuff. And then I did have this though. So we were talking about sweet potato pie. I had a Hawaiian sweet potato ice cream milkshake. So it was called ube. It's purple sweet potato. Man, it was so good. It was so good.
Very cool.
So yeah, man, but it was great. I'd never been on that island before, on the islands before. We were on Oahu, and it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Met a lot of cool people there. A lot of people also just sort of getting away from the cold weather or the smoke in California, or people coming from, Australia or Asia. Man, there were so many. I said there were so many Asians there. People from all over the Asian countries. It was crazy. I was sort of shocked, but then I remembered, obviously that's like halfway to China or Japan or wherever from America. And,
Right.
and, you know, the other thing, obviously it's a big tourist place. It's also cold weather, you know, season around there right now too. So, you know, they're trying to get away. And there's a lot of history, and there's a lot of, you know, history with you know, locals or natives, and there's a lot of history, obviously, with Pearl Harbor, you know, between, you know, a lot of different Asian communities there. So I'm going to tell you, the wildest thing, eating food there, right? The fusion of, like, tropical island food, food that is native only to like there or other, you know, islands, and then American food and European food, Portuguese, Spanish, and then also Asian food. It was insane to actually, you know, taste some of the food that they had and see the, you know, really see like how that fusion, and I think that, you know, Hawaii is one of those places that was probably like one of the first places that actually had fusion, like Asian fusion something, and then now it's, you know, becoming like super popular in the States, because you have, you know, stuff from all over the place combining with like pineapples and you know, hamburgers, and it's wild, man. But the food was so good. It was a great time. Freaking expensive, but it was a great time.
Yeah, sure. I wish I would have remembered. I would have told you to stop at the Light Sleepers store. I know they follow us on Instagram, but I think they're in Honolulu.
You know which island?
Honolulu.
Shoot, I was there.
Oh, yeah. See.
So no, the island is called Oahu. The biggest city there is Honolulu. That's also the island where Pearl Harbor is. And I think the island is nothing but like, you know, maybe the widest, like, you know, 10 miles wide north to south, and, you know, maybe like 30 or 40 miles wide, something like that. And there's 4 million people plus.
Oh, a bunch
on
together.
that island. And mainly, most of those people are mainly in Honolulu, which is like the south, you know, southeast side of the island. You know, there's other, you know, larger towns that are sprinkled around the edges and central, but mainly in Honolulu, you know. But it was crazy going there, and it was almost like my wife said, it was almost like stepping back to the 90s with like the architecture, the house design, you know, the roads. Like there was a lot of stuff that felt like, you know, they hadn't caught up quite yet. And it makes sense. I mean, shoot, they're the most remote land masses in the world. You know, there's a lot of stuff that won't make it as easily there as it would, you know, to a place like the mainland of the States. But yeah, Light Sleepers, yeah, that sucks, man. I thought about that before we went out there, actually. And it totally slipped my mind while we were there. That would have been dope to go by there. Because I think we were right in the area where their shop was at, you know, one or two of those days. So man, it was a great experience. I actually hit up a couple friends. One of my friends who owns a Hawaiian coffee business, who's actually, you know, from there, but she and her husband live here. So she gave me a lot of cool places to go. And then Whatever Man Pod, Chuck from there, you know, he was stationed there while he was in the military. So man, I had a good little back and forth with him talking about I can see, you know, how he could get into trouble, you know, quote unquote, you know, with all the eye candy and everything else they got going on in that place. But yeah, he told me some good places to go to, so it was pretty dope. Family had a great time, kids had a great time. One thing though, so I mean, you're from Louisiana, right? That's where you were born. That's where you grew up. They got plantations out there. In Texas, there's not as many plantations. At least not like historical, cultural places that you can go and visit, if you will.
Right.
And also not as in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, like the whole South. You know, there's not as many plantations that have a quote unquote positive impact on American society and everything going, and the history and everything going forward from it. So I got to go on a plantation while we were there in Hawaii. We went to the Dole pineapple plantation, right? So
interesting.
Dole, the fruit company, you know, they all kinds of tropical and every other kind of fruit and stuff that they distribute and sell. They're like, you know, Pineapple Plantation, really what made their name and what blew up that company is there in Hawaii. So it's like a big ordeal. You know, you can go there, you can tour the facility, take a train around, you know, see the different types of fruit and vegetables, or I'm sorry, fruit and other things that they grow there, and you know the whole process, learn the history, and really like we have that man, you know, I can't remember his first name, Dole, to thank for, you know, really like bringing pineapples to America. I mean, so all these women out here who trying to eat pineapples before a date, yeah, thank Mr. Dole. But, you know, there's the history was pretty interesting. You know, there's every kind of pineapple food and confection you could think about out there. And it didn't seem like he was like a slave master. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seemed like the people had a pretty positive spin on, you know, on the history
of the plantation.
Yeah. And he was a white guy who showed up there, you know, obviously took the natives and you know, had them work for him. But there was nothing that suggested that I was able to see and find, and at least asking people that are from there, that you know, there was any shady dealings or, you know, slave mastering or you know, anything like that. You know, people were actually like workers, and you know, they were, you know, proud of being able to share, you know, some of their, you know, some of the things that were really only native to that country or to that land, with the rest of the world. So it was a pretty dope experience. But you know, if I can look and do a little digger deep and try to find out, deeper digging to find out. But yeah, as far as I know, it was a dope you know, plantation. Was interesting before I went, but it was cool after I left there. Had a lot of pineapple stuff and drank a lot of drinks out of, you know, coconuts with umbrella straws and all kinds of stuff. So it was good.
Good. That's good. Good. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, my Thanksgiving was cool. I only got to see my parents for like a couple hours, but you know, it's all good. Yeah. Didn't do much traveling. Just over a state. Yeah. Didn't see much. Just kicked it with the in-laws and ate massive amounts of pie and 2 turkeys, a smoked one and a baked one, and yeah, man, just normal Thanksgiving food. Yeah, you dig? So
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't really much of anything. Just another Thanksgiving.
Was it mainly?
I'm keeping my tea.
Was it mainly sweet potato pie?
Mainly sweet potato? No, my sister-in-law made sweet potato pie, but you know, my father-in-law, he made pumpkin pie and pecan pie. Right. So yeah, that's what he did. Did you eat? So I had the pecan pie and sweet potato pie. I mean, I don't even know if I tried the pumpkin pie. Yeah. I probably did. I don't remember.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, man, I'm not touching that. As Christmas,
I mean, it ain't bad. I mean, yeah. I mean, it ain't bad. It's just, you know, it's just something we never grew up with. So initially, trying to eat it was a little out of the question.
Yeah, you're right.
But I eventually got down to it and ate some.
You're right. Yeah, it's you know, over here it's one of those things that people swear by. They're like, you have to have a pumpkin pie. I'm like, no, you don't really have to have one. But they don't. Oh
yeah, I'm sure we'll have like 2 or 3 this. We got a potluck at work, so yeah, the majority of people I work with are, you know, of the other persuasion. So
yeah,
actually, pretty much all
they're Anglos.
So yeah, I'm the only colored out there. So you feel me? I'm outnumbered.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. You'll see it. It's all good.
Yeah, no. Anywho.
Yeah, anywho.
What we got next?
Well, it's good that you got to see the family. Let's see here. Next, we have, yeah, man. So pretty much the week while we were out, or I guess just as we were about to go, on holiday break, if you will, we posted a One's Gotta Stay Classic TV Moms edition, and then we did a bonus on that same post, which is One Gotta Stay Classic TV Dads edition. So with the TV moms, ooh man, this is quite the showdown. So for Classic TV Moms, we got Claire Huxtable from The Cosby Show, Harriet Winslow from Family Matters, Florida Evans from Good Times, Aunt Viv #1 from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Aunt Viv #2 also from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then Weezy Jefferson from The Jeffersons. Up. So let's see here, and then since some of these answers that we got for these doubled up, we have Cliff Huxtable from The Cosby Show, obviously, Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince, Carl Winslow, the dad obviously from Family Matters, Al Bundy from I can't believe this,
Married with Children.
Why was I about to say that? The Bundys. Fred Sanford from Sanford and Son, and James Evans also from Good Times. So got some great responses here, Jay. So why don't you want to go through those responses real quick?
All right, Just Say Words Pie says Aunt Viv 1 and Uncle Phil. Keith J 88 says Florida Evans and Al Bundy. John Effect says Harriet, she a G. Hooks Rubs, man, this is tough. Aunt Viv 1, Aunt Viv 1 / Claire / Harriet, then Uncle Phil and James. I can't just pick one. Big Bubba Rob says Claire and Uncle Phil. Sweats and Suits Podcast says Claire and Uncle Phil. CF Monger says Al Bundy is the greatest. Finn Elwood 23 says Aunt Viv 1 and Uncle Phil. J Del Negro, we gonna keep Weezy and Carl. Weezy because I feel like she'll always keep money in her kids' pockets and food in his belly. Good food too. Lobsters and fillets and shit. And Carl was, the police. And I might need a favor every now and again from one of his homies. Fuck the police all day, but still.
All right, cool.
Let's see. Oh boy. Sabri Ross, so Blue 79 says Weezy the best. I'm Just Jackie says Florida. Real Women, Real Talk Podcast says Claire and Phil. Smoking Mirrors Pie says Florida and Al Bundy. Ramblers with Rob. Aunt Viv #1 and Uncle Phil. T. Sadie White. This is a hard one. Florida Evans. And we replied back, what about the daddy? And he says, I'm sticking with James Evans. James and Flo started it all. That's a good one. And that is it.
Good deal, man. Yeah, thank y'all for the responses. Jay, what do you think, man, between the moms and the dads? What's your choice?
I mean, like my favorites, I think my favorite out of the mom was Claire Huxtable. Mm-hmm. The dads, like, I ain't gonna lie, I like quite a few. I did like Cliff Huxtable,
Yeah, back.
Did like Uncle Phil. I love Carl Winslow. Loved Al Bundy. Loved Fred Sanford. James Evans, I thought James was cool, but if I had to get rid of one, it would probably been James. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. It's tough for the dad one, man.
Right?
I would. I think I'd probably, man, it'd probably be out of Cliff, Uncle Phil, and Carl.
Yeah.
Because I think they all gave great advice to their kids when they needed it.
Between them and the other one, huh? That's probably good.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, Al Bundy.
Al Bundy was wild,
Al Bundy
man.
was like, he was wild. He's probably one of my favorite TV dads. Yeah. But, as far as like, that one guy you got to get advice from and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, you seen how Bud Bundy and
Kelly turned out.
and Kelly turned out. So, You know, and Fred Sanford was always calling his son a big dummy. So, but
James was tough love with a belt. That's what James was.
James was real tough love, man. Super tough love.
That's great.
I don't know, man. Yeah, a dad one would be pretty.
The dad one is definitely tough. Yeah, I mean, I got to say the same. You know, on the dads, it's really tough just because, you know, there's so many options there. But I think, you know, for me, it boiled down to Uncle Phil and James. You know, the tough love with a belt, you know, that definitely helped me as a kid. I think, you know, now growing up, having that, even though when I was a kid, I did not like it. You know, but then Uncle Phil, he, you know, between those other guys, I loved Cliff too, and I loved Carl, you know, and how goofy he was. But, you know, Uncle Phil, he just seemed to, you know, he just seemed to be, you know, top between all of those situations. He seemed to have it together the most, I guess. And then for the moms, man, I know Aunt Viv won. You know, Claire in Florida. I think those ones. I don't know. There's too many. There's too many good decisions. You know, too many you know, options there. But Claire reminded me most of my mom, I think, at the time. So I think that's why I had to pick her. So it's a debate, man. Yep. It's a debate. So I know we have some questions and some suggestions or recommendations for more. There's one that we are planning on doing, and I think we got to figure out how to put it together. But TV siblings, which one would you get?
Wow, I was just thinking of that.
Yeah, which one would you keep? And yeah, so we're going to put it together. We'll post it, so you'll probably actually see it before you hear it. So if you're listening to this, you probably look back on our timeline and see, you know, TV siblings. But yeah, it should be a good one. So there you go. Next up, voicemails. So on to the voicemails, man. You know, yeah, since it's been a couple weeks, we got a little backlog of voicemails. So let's get it cracking. You know, with our favorite voicemail leaver, just because she is essentially our third you know, host, if you will, of the show.
Yeah.
You know, with all the voicemails that she leaves. So Memphis Diva 99, our girl Kayla Stevenson. She owns Rida Apparel. So while we wait for that voicemail to drop, Jay, why don't you go ahead and tell the people how and where they could leave us a voicemail.
All right, people, leave us a voicemail 3853-BLAKPC or 3853-252572. If you're if you want to leave us a voicemail, do that there. I was about to say if your letters rubbed off the phone, but everybody got digital phones now and they don't have like the little touch tone home phones.
What y'all should do is y'all should just go ahead and program that hashtag Blackout Podcast phone number into your phone.
Just save it.
Just save it in your phone.
Save it in your contacts.
And just ask Siri or say, hey, Google or whatever it is. You know, whatever kind of phone you got, just say, hey, call hashtag Blackout Podcast. And bam, it'll say, searching for hashtag Blackout Podcast. Would you like to call them?
Might not even get that right.
Yeah, it probably won't, you know, but hey, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, you could just sort of, you know, have it on speed dial like they used to say back in the day when, you know, when that was a thing. But now speed dial is just, you know, saying, hey, Siri, call my mama. Because I don't even know my mama phone number. Oh, look, Siri just picked up.
What's your mother's name?
See, look, Siri just did that to me. Siri, stop.
I'm not sure I understand.
Shut up, Siri, shut up. Okay.
No, you shut up.
She's gonna say that offends me. All right, here we go. So 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
shoot.
Y'all, you already know who this is. This is me, Memphis Diva 99, coming live and direct as she Uber Eats for the next hour. Look, okay, I'm not sure if I already talked to y'all about Jill Scott giving oral stimulation to the microphone. And people are making memes and videos and they just like, oh my God. But I think I and he started quoting the Bible and told me to get out of his room. So I'm gonna talk to y'all later.
Yo, wow, Memphis Diva coming strong. Well, so did you see that video you just got?
Yeah, I saw it. It's pretty good. It's pretty interesting. Pretty good, Jill. Got every man curious about your skills now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I saw it. Yeah. Nice job, Jill. Literally nice job. And yeah, so I guess she responded, because, everybody's trying to figure out, like, why she trying to give fellatio to the microphone, trying to figure out what the deal is. She said, she, in her, I guess when and if she wants to give it, it's for a different purpose every time. That time was about the things you want to do, but you have to save them for the right person. Not everyone can get your A game, It's going to be a lot of feels every show. So that's when she's doing that to Mike. This is what I do. I tell stories. I sing songs. I play music that invigorates. It sometimes stills people. Sometimes I see them crying. It's a range of emotions. You just have to be there. So I mean, she was just, in her feelings about the song. It makes sense, obviously. But yeah, as far as, the Lent situation, I guess I would say ask your father, but it sounded like he did not want to answer that question at all. I mean, hey, girls wear underwear, we wear underwear. Some people do, some people don't. Some people free ball.
Some people free ball. You can still get lint
from your clothes.
Brushing up against your pants.
You get lint from walking down the street, and
it's just there.
And just dust just flying up in that general crevice. But that may be what it is. Yeah, I have. I have used powder. I'm sure there's people who use powder. I guess it depends on the situation. When I lived down in the South, I used a lot more powder than I do now.
Yeah, I mean, there is a thing called swamp ass.
Exactly.
Sometimes you gotta grab a little bit and like poof it on your gooch, on your little taint section. That little space between your butt crack and your ball sack. So sometimes you gotta keep it dry down there. Yeah, can't have the moisture fly everywhere. You can't have it like soak into your underwear.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. So yeah, it's a thing. It depends on where you are. Probably it depends on how sweaty of a person you can be. So yeah, Memphis Diva. It is a thing that people do. When it's the summertime, I say I use a lot more powder. I'm just saying. Here we go. So thanks for that one. We know you'll be back in a second. But next up, we actually have something that's not Memphis Diva. So let's see who this is.
Yo, what up? Hashtag is J Down Negro here. And I'm listening to episode 110 of the hashtag Blackout Podcast. You guys are talking about how growing up you never had pumpkin pie, which I don't blame you. That's a horrible existence if you grow up eating pumpkin pie. There are better choices in life. I don't even like pie, but I know better than to enjoy pumpkin pie. And as you're telling the story, you kind of mentioned that now that you're married to people who aren't of the same ethnic background as you guys, I was like, that's it. That's how homeboy got to Utah. Because I couldn't figure out how does a black man from Texas, the Southwest area, end up in Utah.
Man.
And I was wondering, is there a story of the transfer from wherever to Utah?
Man.
Enjoy the show. I appreciate how you guys put things together. I tune in as often as I can. But I am very curious about how one goes from one place, any place on the planet, and ends up in Utah. And I think the only more interesting tale of traversing
Right.
What you got for me? Thanks, guys.
Oh man.
Well, before you start,
Yeah.
I have had many people ask me this question too about you. It's like I say, I got a cousin that's in Utah. He's like, "Is he black?" I'm like, "Yeah." How the hell he end up in Utah? And this has happened on multiple occasions.
Wow.
Not just one or two, just plenty of times when I tell them about you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, J Down Negro. Appreciate the voicemail. And man, yeah, I'll break it down. Yeah. Thanks for listening to the show. By the way, check out his show, the By Chance Podcast. Definitely check it out. Great show. Great, interviews on there. Interesting situations. He actually had a show, recently where he was doing basically a interview in the car with his friend as he drove her to the airport. It's a pretty interesting combo. So yeah, check out J Del Negro and the By Chance Podcast. So the story of how I got to Utah, man. Growing up in Texas, H-Town, baby. Utah was one of those states. Like, you look at the map as a kid, and you're like, oh man, I want to travel here. I want to go here. This would be a cool place to go to. As I grew older, I still did the same thing, and I was like, yeah, I'm probably never gonna go to Utah though. What's in Utah? And then the misconceptions and or hearing stories about the state and stuff like that, and people having 3 wives and 37 children. I was like, yeah, I'm not about that life. You know what I'm saying? It's and the Mormonism and all the other stuff that was associated with the state. I was like, yeah, I mean, unless I was going to go for the Olympics back in the day, I probably wasn't going to come to this state. So lo and behold, I get set up with my wife by a mutual friend. Back while we were in Texas, she lived there, worked there, all that stuff too. But she's from Utah. And first time she said that to me, I was like, oh, really? I never met anybody from there. What's it like? And she told me a little bit. I was like, wow, it sounds pretty. So, visited, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know, man. It just became one of those things, as we got more serious, as we got engaged, and then after we got married, she was like, wouldn't it be great to move back to Utah? And I'm like, nah. We have family, we have friends here, we work here. My family, is 4 hours away in Houston. And her family would have to fly in to travel in or whatever, drive, multiple days to get here. To get there. So I was like, yeah, man, it's we're good in Texas. So, year over year, every now and then she would mention that. And then the other thing is, she was an elementary school teacher and she just got burned out. The school district situation or education situation in Texas, had been, really destroyed for years and years by the government. And it's not like, they treat the kids badly or whatever. They actually pay the teachers really well. That's why my wife went to Texas to teach rather than in Utah, because they don't. But, it became a thing where she had to teach kids how to take tests rather than, how to
teaching them.
Yeah, to teach them. Yeah. So, so she was eventually really burned out on it, and she was like, man, I got to get up out of here. I can't do this anymore, but what I want to do is go and be an esthetician, do facials and skincare, microdermabrasion, lasering,
Right.
waxing, all that stuff. So, lo and behold, there's a couple of good places in Texas to do that, but, it's like $30,000 a year, to go to the best schools. B, pretty much every school, was a daytime thing. And the way, our job situation was then, we weren't really able to, have one paycheck, then. So it just is what it is. So she would have had to quit teaching, straight up and then go to school. And it just wasn't going to work out. It was going to uproot our life like all over the place. So, of course, lo and behold, she looks and like Nevada and Utah are like the top states in the country, when it comes to doing that as a job, and also the schools. The best school is located, has multiple branches located in both states. And and obviously her family being from here, obviously her family being in the beauty supply industry beforehand, she, felt like that she had some connections on a certain level. And then, obviously, being here, we'd have, a little more family support. So, man, it became one of those things where she, literally hated going to work every day. I worked in a job that could be, that I could do anywhere in the country. I just flipped from one restaurant to a different restaurant, right? And then, obviously, I did voiceover work and stuff like that. I could have my agent in Texas and be living wherever and just record, from a remote studio or wherever. So that's another thing. And then Hooks, Rubs, and Spices, which is the family business, I can also do from anywhere in the country. Just have to recertify wherever I go. So it was sort of one of those things where I felt like maybe I was being a little selfish by staying there and not allowing her to get away from the thing that, she literally, had health issues and health concerns about having to go to school every day and teach these kids. And it wasn't the kids, it was, just the job part. So yeah, man, I accidentally said, yes, let's move one day. And next thing you know,
accidentally.
Yeah, I swear, man, I swear. Next thing you know, the house is up on the market, and we're planning on moving, telling the family that we're moving. It was like, they were like, what? Why? I remember somebody recently, told me that, my dad found out that we were moving to Utah. He was like, man, my son's moving to Utah? To Utah? What? He never told me that, but I guess he told this person that. So it was, it was definitely a thing that I definitely couldn't wrap my head around. Initially, I sort of left kicking and screaming because I think I realized after the fact that, it was going to be a big change, and I wasn't ready for it personally, but, for our family, and for my wife's sanity, it was one of those things that sort of had to be, even for a little time, even if, we just went for her to go to school and then we'd, figured out some other move after that. But, we moved up, stayed with my in-laws initially, and so that sort of allowed her to go to school and me to work. And I actually changed industries. So, I had the same, schedule as my wife. I sort of worked whatever during the day and then had the night off so I could actually see my kids and my wife, instead of dropping them off at school and seeing them the next morning. So I mean, it worked on that level. The kids like school here. It was a transition for them, big time. As well, leaving friends and family, obviously your kids, they really sad they can't see them like across town like they always used to. But it was just one of those things that just sort of had to happen and worked out, for the good. Now I actually work in a job that I enjoy, for a company I enjoy. And my wife got her certification, and she's working and doing that thing. And yeah, she, is happy when she wakes up now compared to what, she used to. So, yeah, so it was weird, man. But yeah, the first thing we got here, I was like, man, there got to be some barbecue around here somewhere, Wrong. There's like 2 or 3 good barbecue spots. Thankfully, one of them is within like a 15-minute drive from my house. There's mountains. Instead of being flat like Texas, it's cold in the wintertime. Like today it's snowing. The first real heavy snow that we've gotten, I think, all year. And I think it's supposed to snow all night. So we'll probably get like 8 inches to a foot, right? I was never used to shoveling snow. You know what I'm saying? I just know what ice storms are, which they don't understand here. It is beautiful, with the mountains. Park City's dope, but we don't live in Park City. We live like outside of Salt Lake, And yeah, there's a lot of things that are weird here. I'm not Mormon, so our family's not Mormon, and neither is most of my wife's family. She just has a couple of cousins that are, and an aunt and uncle, I think. So it is, it's sort of like being an outsider, in some respects. But yeah, man, that's really the big story about being in Utah. But I'm gonna tell you what, the other thing is, most people here just treat you like a regular person. There's not. I honestly, I don't see the racism here like I saw it in the South, even though there's more Anglo-Saxons, like legit. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. It's one of those things. There aren't many situations where I see a dad with multiple wives and like 30 kids, but I have seen it. I've seen what is suspected to be that. We'll say that. I've suspected that this is what that is. I asked my wife about it because she could just see it right away. And she's like, yeah, that's what that is. So if you go on the borders of like Arizona, Utah, you go on the border like Utah, Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, there are still little towns and communities, pockets, compounds of people like that. But they're sort of like off the beaten path. You'd have to go and, literally drive through their town to find out. And to see any of that, and it's not as prevalent wide in the open. But this is a cool place, man. There's tech companies moving here. Amazon's going to be opening very soon. eBay is here. They call this the Silicon Slopes. Like they used to call Silicon Valley, California back in the day. So it's growing, man. It's growing. But yeah, man, the food is the thing I miss the most about the South. So J Del Negro, that is a 5,000 foot view of how I got here. Thanks for asking. And for all the people that you talk to, that's you can condense that answer obviously, but basically, yeah, that's how I got here.
I have. I just all I say is, that's where his wife was from. So she, she wanted to be closer to family. That's my condensed story to sum it up for everybody that asks me.
Definitely part of it too. Definitely part of it. I think for her living, for such a long time away, far away from her family where it's not driving distance, like you guys can actually drive to your family's house, in 6 to 8 hours, depending on the traffic and stuff. Yeah, for her, or now for me, that's a 24-hour straight drive. If you don't stop much. So
yeah. And here's the crazy thing. I am actually considering moving back home.
Are you really?
I'm considering it.
I know you talked about it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my parents are getting up there. They're in their 70s, so it's getting tougher for them, especially my dad, to like take care of 2 properties. Yeah. The property that he grew up on, and plus the property that they're at now. So I may have to get my farm hands dirty again.
Yeah.
And start driving the tractor again and all that other stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just a thought. I'm thinking about it. I probably won't have any concrete answers until close to the summer next year. I'd hate to have to uproot my kids in the middle of a school year and try to find a place for them to go. But I don't know. I'm thinking about it. It's a thought. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. And the other thing is, man, and this for everybody out there, like when it boils down to it, I don't think I really truly got it. Even though I knew it in the back of my head, I didn't really get it when my wife was trying to get us to move here. And she got really serious about it. But then, it boils down to like something that, do something that you love or that will be, helpful to you. You don't want to have health issues because of what your job is or whatever situation that you may be able to control or maybe able to sort of adjust, edit, whatever it is, change. Some situations you can't. I mean, it's just hard, and you just have to obviously try to find a way to fight through it and come out good on the other side. But, if there's situations that you can, if there's a job situation or relationship situation, that you can change to make life better for you and your family, You know, you got to do what you got to do. If there's something that you love that you would much rather be doing than something that you do, I have two. I swear, man, I have 2 or 3 former coworkers that I literally just saw 2 days ago, and I remember initially when they left, you know, one of the things they said, they were like, you know, I loved working there, but I really didn't love what I was doing. I wasn't, you know, I either wasn't happy with what the company was doing, or I wasn't happy, you know, doing what I was doing, and there was no opportunity for me to move and slide to a different position. It just wasn't going to happen. Or they didn't have the position that I wanted, I guess. So, you know, so I moved, and now I'm doing what I'm doing. And they're like, you know, life is too short to just, you know, constantly, you know, walk into a place that you're not, how do you say it? That you're not happy and confident about, you know, at all, ever anymore. You know what I'm saying? So in order to not have health issues, in order not to have like depression or, you know, anxiety, you know, if it's a situation that you can adjust, and if it makes sense, you know, financially and everything above, you know, for you to be able to change for the better for you, and really in the end, it'll probably be better for relationships and family, then do what you love, man. This to people, like everybody out there. And I couldn't really understand that, you know, my wife was on that situation, but I sort of did that initially when I got out of college. I didn't, you know, do what I got my degree in initially. I did something else because I was like, this is where my heart is taking me, you know? Yeah. And I wouldn't regret a moment. You know, I could have made more money doing this and that. You know, I could have had different experiences doing this and that. But I think, you know, the direction that I went, you know, was the way I was supposed to go. Or else, you know, everything wouldn't have played out like it has. So.
Yeah, man, I'm like in a situation similar to that.
Yeah.
Everything you just said. If I leave my job, I'll be taking a big financial hit. Because I won't find anything else enjoyable that can bring in the same amount of money that I currently make. Yeah, so if I do something I love, I'm going to be taking that big hit. But, you know, like I said, if I move back home, I would have that, I guess, support where, you know, somebody would be able to, I guess, at least watch my kids for a little bit. You know, I'd always have I guess, kind of like a backup plan. Right now, I'm just like, just me and my wife here, no relatives or anything. Yeah. So, yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's one of those things, man, where it's like, you're damned if you do, you're kind of damned if you don't, because you'll be depressed and anxiety and all this other BS, which is what I'm going through. It's what I mentioned at the beginning of the show. So, I don't know, man. It's something I got to think about, what I really want to do.
Yeah, I understand that, man. It's crazy. It's crazy, but yeah, you know, my wife went through, you know, like you probably couldn't tell it because she probably, you know, would put on a facade probably most of the time, and I'm honestly, I couldn't tell for most of the time until she really, you know, like broke it down to me, you know, the last like year or so, and I was like, wow, I never even knew. Like I never even, you know, saw it or noticed as much, but you know, I don't know. I remember my mom said, you know, you can't worry about stuff because the more you worry, the more hair you lose. And I'm like, dang, you know, and it was true, you know, in a sense. And I mean, I think it's, you know, not only the hair you lose, but, you know, the wrinkles you get and the, you know, the rings around your eyes, and just, you know, every day, you know, you don't wake up with that same fire and confidence that you did maybe the day before or the year before or whatever. And so I didn't know it, you know, when my wife was going through, but then when I saw it and after she said it, I was like, dang, am I being selfish now? You know, am I being, I don't know. And like I said, I did come here kicking and screaming. Like legitimately. I did not want to come here. But I think there was also something deep down that, told me that it was, in the long run, it would be better for everybody. And yeah, it's improved mine and my wife's relationship, obviously. It changed my work situation, but I do have, some backup plans in place just in case the current situation, that, like I said, I do enjoy, and just in case it doesn't work out. Because you never know. You work for a corporation, you never know what's going to happen the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months,
Oh, yeah.
So there's that. So, hey, man, J Del Negro, that was a very long-winded answer, multiple answers to, that question. I love the question, though, man. I get the question a lot. Talk to people who, it's funny, I talk to people who are from Texas a lot here, or from other places a lot, and we all have that same, like, conversation of, like, how did you get here?
Crazy.
So it's pretty funny, but here we go. Next voicemail.
Can you rely on your neighbors? I mean, will they watch out for your house when you're gone? Will they let you know when suspicious cars come around? I can rely on my neighbors. Even though the ones behind me kind of cuckoo. Now, it got down to like 29 degrees here in Memphis the other night. And I pull up at home at 8 o'clock at night. My damn neighbors got cars everywhere. Mind you, it's pitch black, okay? And so, but he was across from me. He said, KK, I got a sale going on. I'm washing cars for $5. I said, you doing what, boss? He like, I'm washing cars for $5. I said, bruh, it's cold and it's dark. And you washing cars for $5? He said, I'm washing cars for $5. I said, no. Get at me in the daytime. He said, I'm asleep in the daytime. So I said, get at me in the daytime, fool. So then he gonna walk off and say, don't you know no good? And when I looked out the window, it was people getting their car washed in the dark. They had no flashlight. Yeah, I don't know what the moral of this story is, but I mean, I love my neighbor, but maybe he was hustling his alcohol money for Thanksgiving. I don't know. Okay, then, bye. Oh Lord, stay truthful now. Let me see how fast I'm going. I'm going 79. I need to slow it down. I'm not in my motorcycle. I'm in the car.
I hope not.
Oh, man. I hope not, too. Thank you for that message, Kaylin. Yeah, man, great question. Can you trust your neighbors? Can you trust your neighbors, Jay? Can you trust your neighbor to watch your house if you're out of town? Yeah.
I can. My next door neighbor, he's always on point with contacting me if something seemed out of place. And then, of course, like I told you some episodes ago, like I called my neighbor was like in Europe, and I saw they had like a pipe or something burst in their garage, and there's water and stuff leaking out. So I definitely made it my business to help him out. So
that's what it's about, man.
Yeah, they even gave me the their freaking security code to their home. So hey,
yeah. Oh, that's nice. I mean, it's good when you guys have. Yeah, I was gonna say it's good when you guys have such a good relationship that you can do that. That you watch each other's house. That even something's going down in my house. Here's a security code. Just take care of it. I know it'll be all right. That's a good thing. And I think I have that relationship with my neighbors here. I can trust them to at least keep an eye. Like if there's a question. Like they can, pick up a package off our front door or just let us know. Actually, when so we have, we have security cameras at our house and, one of my neighbors, I figured that maybe they were in town. And I knew we were getting a delivery, during the week of Thanksgiving. And I get, you get notifications anytime something happens. And the security camera, notice it. Like you get to watch it in real time. So I actually asked one of them to come over to the house and pick up a package that was on the front doorstep. and I saw him, saw him walk up, and look around. He said, and then he texted me immediately. He's like, I can't find anything. Then I realized that, it may have gone in our, in our other mail that was on hold. So I was just, hey, thanks for, and I didn't tell him that I saw him do that. I didn't tell him I watched him do it, but, I said thanks, and, that maybe we had it delivered another way. And, it's one of those things though, like it's one of those neighbors where, they'll let us know if there's something up. We'll do the same thing for them. So, thankfully we had that relationship too, but yeah, man, you gotta be able to trust your neighbors, cause if you can't trust your neighbor, they'll be the first one to call the cops on you if you have too many people parked at your house and parked over into their house, making too much noise. So
I'll tell you one thing. I did not trust any of our neighbors when we lived in that apartment.
Oh no, G. No, not at all. No, not at all. There was even before you moved down, man, there was this lady who lived upstairs from me, and I thought she was cool. Like she used to like sit on her deck, on her balcony and just sit there and like have a cigarette and a drink or something like that after work every day. Like she would always be chilling, always say hi and stuff like that and be nice. Mm-hmm. Well, one time I had a party in my apartment and the cops were called on me, and I was like, I don't think anybody lives next door to me right now, so I bet it's that lady. How is it that lady? I thought she was cool. Wrong. So, yeah. Thankfully I had, I had good neighbors after we, we both moved away to houses or whatever. Thankfully I had good neighbors then too. So, gotta trust them neighbors. Them neighbors. Oh, here we go. And 3, 2.
Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. Even though Thanksgiving should be every day. And I'm not going to tell you who I am because this is your favorite cousin. It's from Memphis. But I'm just not in the mood for turkey and dressing and all that crap. I just not in the mood today. I just woke up and was like, And then people get all dressed up just to go in the living room and eat and stuff and all this stuff. So I'm not being a Scrooge. I'm actually on my way to a cousin's house, the yearly place we go, and I'm getting kind of bored with that. So I think I'll just get a plate of spaghetti and some potato salad, and that's about it.
Oh, that was about it. All right. Hey, happy belated Thanksgiving to you, Kayla.
Yes, indeed.
Let's see here.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, wait, I think. Oh, here we go. Let's see, here we go. So this is about a week after that.
Hey, y'all. This is Memphis Diva sitting up here at home eating me a McAllister's loaded baked potato and sipping on a little vodka and cranberry juice. So we're going to talk about the basketball player that's been outed by him that he's been seeing. What are y'all thoughts about these others that are outing the guys that we think are straight? Now, what you do behind closed doors, that's basically your business. I could care less, but I think his name's Dwight Howard. Maybe I got Dwight, whatever. Nice looking guy, too. And the guy that he's been messing with outed him. And I'm just like, it's interesting. How do you feel about that? Yeah. And then his pastor called the guy girl, I call her guy girl, and threatened him. And so this is the reason why it's coming out. I hate to call it again, I'm sorry. They wanted to give this person some money, and they didn't take the money because they felt like they would get arrested for trying to extort. But it's just fascinating. And I just want to know what your thoughts were. Okay, then. I'm going to get through sipping. Bye-bye.
All right. So, yeah, we were going to talk about this. So, Jay, yeah, man, what do you think of the Dwight Howard situation? Do you know much about it?
I don't know much about it. I know you mentioned it to me, but I don't know anything about it. So maybe you can enlighten me.
Yeah. So, okay. So there is this person, and Kayla's interesting way she's trying to describe it as a shim or a he, her, or he, she, or whatever she's trying.
It's a transgender person.
Shut up, computer. Shut up, computer. Sorry, let me knock down this volume on this computer so it's not talking to us. So this person, transsexual person, whatever, said this. Person's name is Mason Elijah, Mason Elijah, maybe. So at Mason Elijah, but it's MASINELIJE with the tilde on it. Let's see here. So I was afraid to speak, but today my life was threatened after I was sexually harassed, threatened, and manipulated by someone I respected. My ex-boyfriend, NBA player Dwight Howard, and his camp, also catfished, quote unquote, by his disrespectful ass pastor. So, so this person came out, and Dwight Howard, has always been, he was Superman, that was one of his nicknames in the NBA. Popular basketball player, been playing for years in the NBA. Was trash when he was with Houston, but hey, that's a whole different thing. And LA. So, so he's on the Wizards now. So yeah, but nobody ever knew anything about nobody ever knew or thought anything about Dwight Howard, being homosexual or bisexual or whatever it is, or in a relationship with a man, whatever. So yeah, man, and people say, it's because he lived in Atlanta, like when he played for the Hawks, and like there's all this other stuff going on. And there's a some former professional football players, some professional current and former athletes, mainly former athletes, that are talking about that have come out themselves, talking about the whole situation. With some crude jokes, etc. So, yeah, so it's a interesting situation. These people hiding behind the guys, and then it pops up the question, who else could be out there that has the same thing, that may seem a little more flamboyant than other people. So, other players. So I don't know, man. I think it's an interesting situation. I think I don't care who it is. If you're threatening somebody, to the point where they're scared. I don't care if it's man, woman, whatever that you're threatening. It's sort of whack unless it's a situation where you guys are actually about to throw hands. And it gets to that point. But I think it's wild. But apparently there's a lot of homophobia and transphobia going on surrounding the Dwight Howard's accusations.
I don't know, man. I think he should just come out, live his truth. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's I'm sure there's a ton of other professional sports players out there doing the exact same thing, keeping it low key. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. I'm looking through this post that this person made, the transgender person, and I guess he was sleeping with another transgender person, and this other person would throw transgender sex parties that Dwight Howard would often attend. Oh, so I don't know, man. This is a tough one, man. I think he just needs to come out and say what he got to say. It's 2019 about to be. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's a tough one, dude. It's a tough one. I don't know what to think about.
I mean, yeah, I know what you mean. It's crazy. It's interesting to talk about and think about. But I think the worst news of all came out about Dwight Howard just a couple days ago. That come on, Skype. Yeah, I think the worst news came out a couple days ago. about Dwight that he needs a buttectomy. If that makes any sense.
Wait, what? Say what?
The butt pain has kept Dwight Howard out of about 9 Wizard games, or I guess about 9 more Wizard games. It's going to require surgery, so he's having some butt pains. So of course, along with this story, I see that people mention this Mason Elijah, accusations, and it being tied in. So I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, but you can't have this situation and then need a buttiotomy. You know what I'm saying? A buttoplasty.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah. So hey, I don't know what to say, but I do know that it's a situation where you just need to figure out what you want to be, who you want to be, how you want to be that person. So, whatever. Here we go. Next voicemail.
Wow.
Doggone it, y'all. Forgot what I was going to talk to y'all about. Golly. Oh, shoot. Darn. Fudge. Snickerdoodle. What in the world was I going to talk to y'all about? Darn. Never mind. How y'all doing? Y'all doing all right? Golly. I'm going to call y'all back.
What's so funny about that, Kayla, is doing voice recordings. Every now and then they want you to just like do a run of reactions, and it's just like maybe saying the same thing or something that's similar, with the same meaning over and over again. Because maybe one sounds better than the other, and they'll take it and they'll cut it and they'll drop it into whatever you record. So for a while, that's what it sounded like. Shoot, golly, darn it. Snickerdoodle.
That's funny.
That's pretty great. I love it. All right. So it looks like she remembered what she was going to say, and she called us back.
Hey, y'all. It's me, your favorite cousin from Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis Eva 99. I'm headed home from my part-time job doing a little Uber Eats and stuff. And I saw something today with Kareem Hunt, and he was let go. He's an not NBA, but football person, and he kicked this girl's butt, and he attacked this lady, and why they wait so long? It happened in February. I don't know how this stuff works with football players, but they sure like to beat up on women. I'm not saying how do y'all feel about if a woman hits a man? Like, I've seen this video, this girl was just slapping his man, kicking him, slapping him, and then he just got tired and he just beat that poor baby down like a I don't know, he just beat it down. But anyways, how do y'all feel about that? I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. Because you should keep your hands to yourself, and I'm not going to hit somebody that's bigger than me. So, but, back to Kareem Hunt. What's y'all feelings about that? Okay, I'm going to go see if I can pull up the video and look at it a little more. Okay, then. I'll talk to y'all later.
Wow. So, yeah, thanks for that message, Kayla. And, yeah, have you seen this video?
Yeah, I'm looking at it actually right now.
Yeah.
It's like he kind of sort of, I guess, wait. Okay, I'm seeing I guess a couple different angles. So it looks like, oh, okay, now I see the kick. But I see like they were arguing in looks like a hallway or some kind of lobby area or something.
Yeah. It was apparently it's like a hotel where he had like an apartment in the hotel or something. I think so.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it, and in like cases like this where you got a big star, I guess, putting hands on somebody or assaulting somebody, I'm always curious to know what the conversation was. What started it all? I mean, did anybody say what started it all? Is there any reports about what started it all?
There are no, like, I don't see any reports about like what the actual conversation was that happened. Obviously I see the video, and you know, it's made out to be, and maybe this is a portion. Let me see, maybe if I can see a longer cut of the video. But it from what I heard, you know, on on the radio about it, and you know, sort of read up a little bit. You know, they say that the way that they say that he kicked this woman sound like he like dang near killed her on the kick, and it wasn't that bad. He just like it was a much softer kick than that. I thought he like kicked her to the chest or in the head, and he kicked her more in the leg. Now, obviously, you know, putting your hands on anybody, let alone a woman,
assault is assault.
You know, yeah. Let alone the fact that you were, you know, a muscle bound, pro athlete, you know, hitting, you know, a woman or anybody in a situation, you know, is not good. Assault is assault, wherever it is. The conversation that happened that spurned this from him, I don't know, man. Who knows? You can see him obviously sort of like, you know, jawing with this lady back and forth. So who knows what's happening in that situation? You know, and he sort of, it seems like he's sort of like, you know, saying like, you know, leave and stop talking to me. You can't keep saying, I don't know what happened. But like we see his mouth, but we don't see what her mouth is saying at the same time. But then, you know, if you're a pro athlete, you know, we've said this before, you got to have somebody there, you know, that's going to keep you out of these situations, totally out, you know. Not worry, because you have so much to lose, and you should be smarter than this, you know. That's why there's some people who say, you know, most NFL teams should have like handlers, you know, for all of their star players,
right?
You know, just because you can get caught up in this situation, and who knows, you know, maybe the situation that he egged on, that, you know, the cameras came on and we saw the worst of it all. You know, maybe something she did. We don't know, but you know, we've said it before. You know, laying your hands on a woman, you know, is not cool, unless she is like, you know, physically threatening your life and she has, you know, a weapon or something like that you know, obviously, you know, going to harm you. In this situation, is not like that at all.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, a crazy thing is, I guess in today's society, it feels like even if you were trying to protect yourself from from a woman assaulting you, you'd still be the bad guy. Yeah,
it's true. It's the way it is.
I mean, it's sad to say, but yeah, I mean, of course, we're like inherently physically stronger than females, you know, in a lot of cases, I guess in the majority of cases, but you know, I mean, how would you handle a woman assaulting you a different way than putting your hands on them?
That's true. And you know, really to try to like quell any situation, that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to make sure that that you can
I mean, you can't like grab her hands and hold them.
Yeah.
Because then you think about that, you'll get bruises on her hands or on her wrists or something from trying to restrain her, and then bam, you're the bad guy, you get arrested. So you can't walk away. I mean, I guess the only thing you can do is try your best to walk away and leave the situation, but you know, I don't know, man. He got released, so who knows what's gonna happen to him.
Yeah, and it's the other thing too. I don't know. I remember one thing. You know, my mom said, you know, don't start a fight, but if somebody, you know, attacks you first, or if somebody else throws the first punch, then you better end that fight, right? So You know, so and in this situation, all we see from the videos is, you know, him, you know, jawing back and forth, and then he reaches out and like pushes the guy that's trying to separate them, which also pushes her, you know, in the same situation. Then later on, you know, he kicks her, and so, you know, we don't know if she did something before, but right now, all the info we have is he did everything to instigate the physical part of the altercation. Yeah, man, you know, you can't. It's hard to figure out how you restrain somebody in that situation, because if you can't diffuse it, if you can't walk away, you know what I'm saying? How do you do this without, like you said, making bruises on them? You know, if you're just trying to hold them down, you know what I'm saying? Or if you're just trying to push them off of you or something, you know? And it's another thing, right. You know, we get to this point. I mean, shoot, this is another black athlete that is caught up, sadly, but true. Or another athlete, I guess, you know, altogether that's caught up in one of these situations. But, you know, we say this all the time, you know, if you're a professional athlete, people, you know, there'll be a lot of people, obviously, who will be there for you for the right reasons. A lot of people who won't. A lot of people who will just come into your life, you know, who won't be there for the right reasons. And I don't know if that's the situation, but you got to know that whatever you do, has a microscope on it, especially if you're, you know, a popular or famous or, you know, top athlete in your position, you know, in your league. And that's, you know, he's one of the best running backs in the league. Well, not right now. So yeah, I mean, I think his team, you know, basically did the right thing. You know, if you look back at the Ray Rice situation, you know, years ago, it's a similar situation where, you know, they had to let him go. I don't know why it took so long though for them to get this information. If TMZ has this video, how is it that, you know, like the police, you know, didn't see this video months ago? I don't know. How is it that they didn't get that from the hotel, you know, months ago, when TMZ, you know, has this in their hands? Maybe TMZ paid the hotel more than the police would have. I don't know, but yeah, man, it's a bad situation to put yourself in and to be put in, and you know, really, you got to know how to handle yourself a lot better than that, Kareem Hunt. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is one of them things that makes us all look bad.
Oh boy.
Okay.
What you gonna do? What can we do?
What you gonna do when they come for you? Here we go. Last one.
Yeah, it's me, Memphis Diva 99. Look here. It's the Christmas season coming up, and the thieves is running buck wild. Don't you know they stole several packages from my customers of my T-shirts? One of them, the mail UPS said delivered to receptionists, meaning their packages come to the front office because they're too big to fit in the little apartment mailboxes. So you know my ass printed it out. The customer called me and said I didn't get it. They say it's in the mailbox. They delivered to the receptionist. She went to the receptionist in the office and they said, no, it's not here. So you know me, the researcher, my gangster didn't work, okay? So I went up there and they was like, well, we never got it. I said, lies. I said, either you lied or the mail UPS lied. And so because I don't have any insurance on it, I'll be back. Because if I see that tank, that hoodie with my design on it, that the customer paid $30 plus tax, it's going to be a problem. So I ain't had a chance to stalk from people. I'm going to wait till it get cold. Okay, then. Y'all be careful. I'm going to get that ring thing, and it tells everything, shows everything, even when you're in your car. Okay, then, bye-bye.
Wow. I mean, come on, people. I just, I never understand it when it's a situation like this, you know, people like stealing packages off doorsteps, or this situation, which sounds like the receptionist took it. How?
That's what it sounds like.
I don't understand that, man. I don't understand people stealing stuff like this. It's crazy.
That is insane. I don't know. It happens. I've been noticing, looking at the news, it's been happening a lot lately.
Oh yeah,
around here. Yeah, holiday shipments, and of course you got the Amazon delivers now, so they're usually catching people like stealing like Amazon shipments from people's doors and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a sad situation, man.
Yeah, very sad situation. I don't know, man. I know that, you know, I think I've talked about it before. There's you know, people on here who have or I guess people here who have I guess had video, you know, those doorbells or whatever, to be able to see people, and they've caught them. And it like happened to be like one of their neighbors who they may not have known actually, but just somebody who lives in the neighborhood who just happened to be driving by and like, oh, there's a package, I'm gonna pick it up and steal it, you know? Yeah, man. So, you know, it's crazy that people do that, man. You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's wild. So if you want it, go buy it, you know, go buy it.
Yeah.
If you can't afford it,
It's easy.
go get it. I don't know. Go steal
Then it
from the
wasn't meant
store.
for you. It wasn't meant for you.
You're right. It wasn't. Absolutely wasn't. So, man, that's ridiculous. Hopefully you figure out who it is. Hopefully, you know, they find him. Or you figure, you know, you see that hoodie on the street and be like, hey, you didn't buy that from me. Where'd you get that from? But it's hilarious that she pulled up on the place. You know what I'm saying? Pulled up on them, talked to them. Wow. So, okay. So, man, hey, yo, thanks for the voicemails, Memphis Diva and J Del Negro. Now that we're all caught up, I think the next episode won't have 37 voicemails to go through. So, yeah, thank y'all very much. And, yeah, obviously we're out for a few weeks, so it makes sense. So, maybe we should do this, Jay. Maybe we should just, like, push through the commercial break. Just go ahead and get through these couple highlights we want to talk about, and then we're going to tap our love box and get up out of here. How's that sound to you?
Sounds good to me.
Good. So, I mean, I think since you brought me into, you know, more of a love and appreciation, and now, you know, a mini fanaticism of comics, I think you should talk about this first. You know, one of the saddest things, you know, that happened in the last couple weeks. You know, you can jump that off.
All right. Well, as everybody's already known by now, the godfather of Marvel Comics, one of the creators who brought us characters such as Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and Incredible Hulk, and on and on and on and on. You know, he's passed away, 95, from what I'm remembering as heart failure, and I think it was another illness as well. I can't think of the name of it right now, but yeah, Stan Lee passed away. You know, for me personally, I didn't see him dying for some odd reason, even though I knew he was in his 90s and time was coming to an end. I just felt like he was always going to be there, you know, and it was weird when I heard it, because that just, you know, got me all in my feelings that day when I read about it. But, you know, long live Stan, you know, he inspired a whole lot of people, whether it be artists, writers, definitely a big inspiration in the hip hop community. Yeah, man, he's definitely going to live on forever in the works and thoughts and minds of many creators. So yeah, definitely a sad situation.
Yeah,
but he lived a great life. 95, man. That's a longer life than many people could even say they've had. You know. So, yep.
Yeah. It is definitely sad when you sent me the message. I got it, and I can't remember if I was at work that day or if I was out of town then. But yeah, and I got the message, man. Yeah, it's very sad to hear. You know, is it was definitely sad to hear. And yeah, you know, he obviously has you know, had a hand and impact on pop culture for a long time, and really only in the past, what do you say, like since Iron Man came out, really has it. I mean, I guess Spider-Man, you know, years ago with Tobey Maguire, but really since Iron Man came out, I think that's when he has been the most appreciated, you know, even more appreciated. And I would say not. I mean, obviously people who love and read comics have known that for years. And so there's been appreciation for years, but I think, you know, mainstream, you know, pop culture, American society really, and the rest of the world, you know, I think really grew in love and appreciation for Stan Lee and all the stuff that he did, you know, while he was here in the past, you know, 20 or so years, whenever Iron Man came out. And so, yeah, man, you know, very thankful for that. Very thankful for, you know, being able to experience, you know, a lot of the genres or a lot of the different characters that he created, and you know, actually see who created them or helped create them. You know, because when I was a kid, when I was younger, I wouldn't have known, you know, who was, you know, one of the original creators of Spider-Man and you know, all these other superheroes, you know, Captain America, etc. So it's cool to see that, and you know, and it was cool to learn and a lot about him, and you know, it was always fun to see one of his cameos, you know, in one of the movies. So it's funny, I think a couple years ago I heard that, or maybe a year ago or so, I heard that they had filmed, I don't know, like 20 or so cameos for Stan Lee, you know, to try to round out, you know, the rest of the movies that were planned at that time. So
yeah.
Hopefully those are there.
Yeah, I just feel so bad because every time he come to like the Comic Cons here, I'm always like, dang, I got to go try and get a picture and meet him. I got to go have my kids meet him before, you know, before something bad happens. And then I heard like, I think it was last year, maybe year before last, he stopped. He was kind of slowed down on going to like the Comic Cons and stuff. So I was like, crap, you know, kind of missed my opportunity for that. But, you know, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, you know.
Yeah, I think the last Comic-Con he came to here may have been the one. It might have been my first one that I came to here, but I didn't go see him. And I think the day that he was here, I was not. I was there like the last day or something like that. So I wasn't there the day that he was here. But I know that there is a Stan Lee Comic-Con that happens every year. I believe it's somewhere. Is it on the West Coast somewhere? I have to look it up. Right. But there is a Stan Lee Comic-Con that happens every year that, you know, sort of a tribute to him. And I know that he went to, you know, you know, those, I think from the time, you know, from the time that it started. But I think that I think maybe this year was like the first year that he didn't make it to the Comic-Con. So yeah, so pretty you know, pretty interesting. But yeah, pretty sad you know, situation. You know, to see him pass, you know, hear about that. But you know, it is a part of life, sadly. You know, and he lived a long way. You know, so
yeah, long life. But I'm sure that the end scene for the new Avengers, I'm sure that's gonna be like a heartbreaking end credit scene.
It's gonna be
I'm
rough.
sure everybody's gonna be in there like
it's
crying.
Gonna be rough. Oh yeah. I will say this though. I remember reading, you know, here recently, one of the things that Stan Lee said, you know, when he was you know, a lot younger, he said that, you know, when he was younger, you know, he was maybe like, you know, like 18 in his 20s, whatever, he would look around and see his friends, you know, relatives, whoever out there, like building bridges or like, you know, building buildings or, you know, doing some other job that seemed like it was like, like you're doing this job, you're making good money, you're doing what the world wants you to do, or the world says that you're supposed to do. And he's like, and I wasn't, doing one of those jobs. I was out here like drawing pictures and writing stories and stuff like that. And he said that, initially I felt like weird about it, but then at some point in time I realized what I'm doing is essential and helps society too. I'm entertaining people. Entertainment is a part of society. You have to have some kind of entertainment to make you feel good, to make you feel sad, to give you the emotions and to make you essentially just enjoy life. So he said that's one of those things that pushed me to do this continually, to never stop doing it, to always have inspiration, and to actually, make the characters and create like I did, so he was very thankful for being, integral part of people's entertainment really for their life. So yeah, man, that was funny. That's interesting to stick. And he said, something that, he would tell people, if you do something, if you find out that you're doing something that is, helpful, impactful, to somebody's life, and it's something that you love, do it. Because, in the end, you'll always be happy that, that you decided to do that rather than maybe something that somebody else wants you to do. So, yeah, man. So
exactly, man.
Yeah. So. Excelsior to Stanley.
I tell you, I was telling my wife when this happened, I was like, if Todd McFarlane goes, man, I'm gonna end up losing it, dude.
Yeah,
for real.
Sad.
I'm gonna end up losing it, dude. But yeah, rest in peace, Stan.
I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wow, long life, man. Long life. He's seen a whole lot in his years, a whole lot,
man.
So, but life goes on. His memory will. It's like he's legendary. He can't go. He's essentially not dead if you think about it, because his name is gonna reign on forever. Yeah.
True. He'll obviously live on in the annals of time. As I think, I don't know how it's going to shake out, and I don't know how, the Shakespeares of the world, how their name became what it is, and recognition. But I think over the course of time, he'll be one of those people that that everybody looks back on in the history books and they say this man affected culture and art and entertainment, in a way that, nobody really could predict, and then nobody could really imagine after the fact. So it's funny. If you look at a picture of young Stan Lee and you, like a younger Stan Lee, maybe like 20s ish, and then, or maybe late teens, something like that. And then you compare it to Tom Holland, who plays Spider-Man. They look like they could almost be brothers, twin brothers.
Really?
It's weird, man. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a cool combo, though. So,
very interesting.
Anyhow, all right. So, yeah, rest in peace to Stan Lee. And sending thoughts for his family. Obviously, everybody who valued his creation. It's a great thing. So let's see here. Wow. Really, there's some other random stuff. Marvel. More Marvel news. Daredevil was canceled by Netflix. I think personally, I sort of saw that coming. Even though Daredevil's been probably the dopest series next to Luke Cage's season 1. That Netflix has done, at least the Marvel series. But, with Disney coming out with their own streaming service, I think it may have been one of those things they had to cancel it because of that.
And I'm sure like in another week or so, they're going to cancel Jessica Jones. So
yeah, it'll happen.
Because I don't know who, well, I ain't going to say that. I ain't going to throw bad juju on Jessica Jones. I just didn't like the second season. Yeah. I didn't even finish the second season, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. That's funny. Yeah, Jessica Jones is alright. First season was better than the second, I'd say that for sure. But it was alright. Yeah, man. So yeah, all the Marvel properties are eventually not going to be on Netflix anymore, and we'll have to pay probably like $20 a month to watch Disney stuff. So,
or we're just not even going to get Disney and just wait till it hits online, and then you could like stream it somewhere.
Exactly. Or you just buy the Blu-ray of it and just be done with it. Whatever.
True.
Yeah. So what else? You know what, man? I think the rest of this stuff we got, you know, we could just tap our love box and get up on out this piece. So yeah. So now's that time. You know, JQ's a careless whisper. You know, we talk about, you know, reaching out, pulling it close, putting your hand with the five fingers, you know, lined up right next to each other, and tapping that love box. So, yeah, man. So, if you are not surprised that 6ix9ine is likely on his way to prison forever, tap your love box.
Not so. Honestly, I thought he was gonna get killed before. It's not a good thing to say, but
yeah,
I honestly thought something like that was gonna happen before lifelong jail sentence.
Yeah,
but, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know, man. Racketeering. You know,
he brought it on himself.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was, but I think somebody said, you know, somebody said he was flying too high. You know what I'm saying? He better watch out because he was flying too high. I can't remember who said that, but, you know, it would come back to bite him, and it looks like it did. So, I don't know, man. Maybe to him it was worth it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't even think those underage sex charges are even in play as far as, like, his sentence. I think they're going to bring that into play now.
Oh yeah, this is just racketeering, gun charges, and drug charges.
Yeah,
not even talking about that. That's true.
That dude's like, how old is he? Like 20, young 20s, right?
20, too young.
Stupid, man. Stupid, very stupid. Speaking of stupidity, our smartest, most brightest of astrophysicists, the man Neil deGrasse Tyson, is getting brought up on sexual assault charges.
Really?
Tap your love box if you heard about this and you are highly, highly disappointed in this man.
Very, very surprised. But
wow, this is like me hearing about Cosby putting Quaaludes in people's stuff. It's like you never thought he'd do it, something like this, in a million years. You never thought Neil deGrasse Tyson would be groping people and making apparently sexually suggestive, you know, comments to women. Wow.
Yeah.
That's sad. That's sad. And I listen to Star Talk all the time, man.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, you know, you can't be, I guess in this day and age, you know, it's just like you can't be too sure. You know what I'm saying? You can't, it's sad but true, man.
It's crazy.
You know, the only person you can trust is yourself. You know?
Yep. So sad. Wow.
Surprising, but I'm gonna say this, man. I don't know. I'm surprised and I'm not surprised at the same time. Just not. So it's sad but true. But then again, really, I don't know, dog. I'm more surprised.
Extremely surprised.
Like I say, yes. To me, that's like you said, Cosby. I think that to me is more like Morgan Freeman. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hear about Morgan Freeman, you're like, not Morgan. I mean, Morgan is like, you know, he's like a daddy to people. You know what I'm saying?
Morgan?
He's the voice of God to people. You know? Not Morgan.
Yeah.
So, whatever. It's sad, but it's true. So.
Sad. Oh, well. All right. What else we got? If you are still highly confused as to why and how the Cowboys beat the Saints, Happy Love Box.
You know, I'm highly confused because I thought Sean Payton was going to go ahead and kick the field goal when he had 4th down and he was close just to get some points on the board. But no, he tries to go for it and they get stuffed. And guess what? Who's my field goal kicker in fantasy? The Saints field goal kicker.
Yeah.
So
I've seen some questionable plays that Sean Payton has called throughout the years, and
man, come on.
It didn't. Yeah. I don't know, man. That was so weird. And of course, like people are talking now about that one guy on the sidelines with the Dallas Cowboys shirt and the cell phone in his hand.
I didn't see that.
And they were, oh, you didn't hear about that, huh?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, people were questioning it because you could clearly see him standing on the sidelines, somewhat behind Sean Payton, cell phone in his hand, like down at the bottom. They think that he's calling plays because it was just so perfect on how the Cowboys knew every single play that the Saints were going to do.
Yeah. Because
you've never seen them play like this all year. They've never been held to 10 points the whole year. You know.
Yeah. And that few yards, those few yards. It's true, man.
You know, a L is a L, so they got their win. And they ain't going to the Super Bowl, but, Cowboys, I mean.
Yeah, Cowboys. I'm telling you, man.
They're acting like it, but
this is, well, you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area, so there's always a very wide range of emotion when it comes to the Cowboys. When something great happens, oh my gosh, we're the best team in history. If something bad happens, fire the coach, get rid of the quarterback, get rid of everybody. Mm-hmm. So that's DFW. But man, I'm gonna say this, man. I've been waiting for somebody to just go ahead and put the freaking Cowboys out of their misery. Just make them lose. And you know what? I thought the Saints would be that team, and it wasn't. Somebody, come on now. Anybody, help me out.
It's one of those things, man. I for some odd reason, I was like, watch, the Saints are gonna lose this game.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I don't know why. It was just something in my head that said the Saints were gonna lose this game. That's my team and all, but it was just a weird feeling I had that something like this was gonna happen. But, oh well. Like I said, L is a L. They're
Definitely
10-2.
Sadly.
So, all right. What else we got?
Man, let's see here. So, if you think all the police officers and staff that decorated this racist Christmas tree should be fired, tap your love box. Because, yeah, man, there's some ridiculousness going on out here in this world. Still, even at Christmas time, we can't catch a break. Without somebody being foolish and racist. Minneapolis, go get your police department. Come on now.
That's funny. It's funny and sad.
I mean, if you imagine a Christmas tree with ornaments that have menthol cigarettes, Takis, Flamin' Hot Funyuns, a Popeyes cup, Schlitz malt liquor, the Bull cans, police caution tape.
Did they have Kool-Aid packets up there?
I'm looking for it. I can't see it on this angle of the tree, but I'm sure it's on there somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, man, it's some ridiculous stuff, man. Ridiculous stuff. The mayor promises that the cops are gonna get fired. Whoever put that up, so they'll get fired. We'll find out who they are, and then they'll get shamed on social media. So one day it's gonna happen. But there you go. What's next?
If you are find the new Eminem 11-minute freestyle somewhat hilarious. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. What? Yeah, if you find it hilarious, if you find it good, if you find it amazing, if you find it jacked up and just uninspiring, tap your love box, because there's so many emotions I'm going through with it. It's like, I thought it was nice, thought it was cool, but then it's like, it didn't do nothing for me. It was 11 minutes long. It's cool. I mean, hey, he went in. He did his thing. But then it's like, yeah, he did his thing. And then everybody's like, oh my God, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Eminem's the GOAT. I think I'm just an Eminem. I guess I'm just a low-key Eminem hater. I'm starting to realize that.
Yeah, you're turning the tide on your old Eminem love. No, man, I
mean, I never loved him. I just liked his first 2 albums, and I was like, it's cool. I like this guy. He's real skillful.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, okay. Even my wife asked me yesterday. She's like, what is the obsession with people loving Eminem? I'm like, I wish I could tell you. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah.
Tap your love box for that.
Tap your love box. Yeah, I have not heard of that. Heard it, and I'm not going to listen to it because I ain't got time to sit there and listen to him spit for 11 minutes. I'm just listening to the Cliff Notes. Or read the Cliff Notes, I guess. But hey, shout out to anybody who wants to try to drop a 10-minute plus freestyle. I just can't do it anymore. Let's see here. So, wow. Okay, so tap your love box if you think that people still name their kids crazy names. So check this out. Texas mom was pissed off at Southwest Airlines employee after the Southwest Airlines employee made fun of her 5-year-old daughter's name. So, but the name is basically ABCDE, right? According to the Post, according to New York Post, this lady named Tracy Redford claims a Southwest employee took a picture of her daughter's boarding pass and posted on social media. Her name may be Absidy, her name may be ABCDE, but it's pronounced Absidy.
Come on,
Mom was
man.
really upset because her daughter has epilepsy. The gate agent started laughing, pointing at me and my daughter, talking to other employees. So I turned around and said, hey, if I can hear you, my daughter can hear you. So I'd appreciate if you just stop. She didn't know the agent had snapped a picture of her daughter's boarding pass until a friend spotted it on social media. While sitting there, she took a picture of my boarding pass and chose to post it on social media, mocking my daughter. No, your daughter's name, not your daughter. It was actually brought to my attention by somebody who had seen it on Facebook and reported Southwest Airlines. And after 2 weeks of doing a formal complaint, Southwest hadn't done anything. Southwest has since apologized to the woman for the incident. So I mean, come on, man, come on, dog. How you gonna name your child the first 5 letters of the alphabet? Come on, G.
Absidy.
And expect, I don't know.
School time come. I mean, I know it's a new day and age, but if this was like the 80s or the 90s, your kid would have got it. Your kid would have got roasted so bad.
Man. And it's not the kid's fault. I'm not blaming the kid at all.
Dumb parents' fault.
It's the parent, And then there's people actually saying, saying stuff like, we support the parent, which is cool because you support the parent because the parent's supporting their kid, but you can also still dog out this name. It's a foolish name.
Absidy. I done heard everything.
Man, somebody told me this story of a girl named LaDasha. You know how LaDasha is spelled?
I actually mentioned, LA-sh. Or wait, LaDash. LA-A, right?
Yeah. Oh man, come on, dog. And this reminds me of the joke I used to say back in the day. Hearing some of these crazy names that, if I ever had a daughter, I would name her Amy, but spell it XYZ, and they'd be mad when people couldn't pronounce it right. Come on, dog. It's sad, but people will definitely be looking at this name and be like, really? This is one of those situations where you just figure this parent was probably a terrible speller, so she was just like, I'm gonna just name you ABCDE and I'm gonna just call you whatever it sounds like. I've never heard of the name Absidy before. I never have.
Wow.
It's
Absidy. Wow.
So, tap your love box if you think it's a crazy name. Also, it's just ridiculous. So there you go. That's all I got. Let's see here. What else? I don't know, man.
If y'all already broke for buying Christmas gifts, tap your love box.
Are you?
I mean, I've been buying other stuff, like stuff for my home. I've been buying all kinds of stuff just for my home. I've already bought the kids Christmas gifts when Toys R Us was going out.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
you did it right.
So I got them taken care of.
Yeah.
So it's just everything else, man. I still didn't get my wife a gift yet. Even though she never really tells me what she wants. She just says she wants to redo the home. So I've been doing little things here and there. I'm probably going to end up buying a couch or something later. So I don't know, man. Too much crap, dude. Too much crap.
Yeah. I'm not broke yet, almost, because I haven't bought many gifts, if any, actually. No, I don't think I've bought any gifts yet, but yeah, it's coming though. It's coming. I know it is. So, yep. So, tap your love box if you think it's dope that the former Florida police chief gets 3 years in prison for framing black people. Thank you, Florida. Thank you.
Thank you, Florida.
Dude's an idiot. So, we need to make an example of him and everybody else who decides to do foolish stuff like that. Be in a position where they're supposed to be, they're supposed to not be doing things like that. So, yeah, man, lock him up. It's not going to be good for him, though. When he goes to prison, they find out he's a police officer.
Booty going to be hurting like Dwight Howard.
Man, whoa, Jay with the hard. Skeet. All right, yeah, tap your little box if you are on the same side as the teacher who had the fight with the kid. The music teacher who had to fight with the kid after the kid, constantly, threatened and hurled racist slurs, threw a basketball at him, and then the teacher had enough, and then he just finally, tried to throw some hands.
I'm kind of on the side, man. I understand he's a teacher. He's supposed to uphold the teacher code, discipline, or whatever the hell it's supposed to be. But yeah, man, there's only so much you could take. If I'd have did that to the nuns in first and second grade, third grade, they'd have lit my ass up. And that's nuns,
Yeah.
And that's in first and second, third grade. That's not like a high school. They lit me up back in the day, and I wasn't nearly that bad.
Oh man, I'm telling you, man. I remember a situation where seeing that paddle come out when I was in middle school, seeing that ruler come out when I was in elementary school.
Ruler.
No, dog.
Hold your hand out.
You don't want to mess with that. These days it's touchy feely. The teachers can't even raise their voice to a kid without somebody getting offended. And I'm gonna say this, man. That kid in that video, man. First of all, his parents should the first ones who need to be beat down, because they didn't teach that kid any kind of respect of an elder, of a teacher, etc. So that's the first thing. The second thing, the way that kid was talking to that teacher, man, there's some people that I knew in school where if a kid would have said something like that to the teacher, the other kids in the class might have stepped up and bust that kid. You know what I'm saying? But in this situation, this teacher, he looked like he was trying to diffuse the situation. Apparently he called the principal's office multiple times and tried to get some help. Principal never came. Whoever from the office never came. Kid kept doing and saying what he was doing, egging him on, kept bowing up to him, walked up to him multiple times as the teacher's trying to walk away. And at some point in time, your human job self turns off, and you better respect me right now self come on. And your hands gotta fly sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Hands got to fly sometime, and they did. And there was a silly situation during the fight. There was some kid, as the teacher's back was turned, jumped and like threw a couple punches at him. And by that time, there seemed like another teacher or whatever had showed up to help out. So but the teacher was like, who punched me? Who punched me? And, you couldn't see who it was. So don't jump in a situation like that. So hey, I gotta say, tap your love box if you're happy and excited and can't wait to see the sequel to Candyman, produced by Jordan Peele.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's gonna be
and good. I think a woman's directing it.
Really? Should be good, man. Should be good.
Should be very good. Very good. I can't wait to see that. I know this month is gonna be busy for me and the kids, possibly depending on their behavior. Mm-hmm. Because we got Miles Morales, Spider-Man coming out. We got the Deadpool PG-13 movie coming out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Still didn't see Wreck-It Ralph 2. So we got to check that out. And then there's another one. I think they wanted to see the new Grinch movie, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah.
So we're going to check that out. And we didn't see Venom yet, so we need to try and see where Venom is playing, if it's still playing somewhere. So
yeah, hopefully it's still playing. See. Your kids will enjoy it. You as a comic book fan will be like, come on, G. But yeah, but your kids really enjoy it.
I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
But you'll enjoy it to a point too. I think. Yeah, man. I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph, but my wife took my kids to see it the other day after they got out of school, and they said it's better than the first one. So
that's what I heard.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Lots of good movies coming out this month. Yeah, definitely got to check out the Deadpool and the Miles Morales too. So yeah. Man, good month for movies. Anyway, that's all I got, man. I think at this point, we're ready to clock out.
Let's clock out.
All right,
let's clock
cool.
out. All right, people. Wow, after 3 weeks off and not really posting much of anything, you could we'll be back on Twitter and Instagram, #BlackoutPod, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spreaker. It's where you can find us. Even YouTube when they don't ban our episodes. Email us topics, anything you want to email us, #blackoutpod@gmail.com. Hit us up on a voicemail, 353-BLAKPC, 353-225-2572. If you hadn't gotten your Christmas gift or your stocking stuffer, hit up Etsy and get yourself some hooks, rubs, and spices, so you could brighten somebody's Christmas morning when they check in their stocking and they find a nice bottle to sprinkle over their food, their body parts, anything. Or if you really want to get them something nice, those kids, those family members who are gamers, hit them up with a subscription to bossboxes.store. Get yourself a boss box, 10% off of a subscription. Put it in your kid's name. Get them all hyped up and wired with all kind of energetic snacks and drinks and gaming accessories. And just say from the #Blackout Podcast on that first box. Yeah, there you go. And there you have it. Episode 111. Down and out. And 3 weeks left till Christmas. So
yes indeed. Alright, man, on that note,
blackout. I got lights to put on my house today. Deuces.
It's Christmas.